Let's open the garage doors on another automotive masterpiece. Every legend has an origin story. Today, we tell the story of how the 1970 AMC Hornet became an American icon. Picture yourself in the early 1970s, a time when the world was alive with change and the open road beckoned like never before. The air was thick with possibility, and the sound of engines roaring filled the streets. It was in this vibrant landscape that the AMC Hornet made its debut, not just as a car, but as a vessel of dreams and memories. Imagine the first time you laid eyes on that distinctive shape, with its clean lines and practical flair. The Hornet was like a breath of fresh air, a compact car that exuded style while promising the kind of reliability that families craved. If you were around back then, you'll remember how it felt to spot one of these beauties gliding down the road, a symbol of the American spirit, ready for adventure. Under its long hood lay a robust inline-six engine, boasting 128 horsepower and a displacement of 199 cubic inches. Those numbers may seem just like specs, but they were the heartbeat of a car that could truly take you places. It was designed to be economical yet spirited, a trusty companion for both the daily commute and those weekend getaways. The AMC Hornet was more than just a collection of metal and machinery. It was a reflection of a nation yearning for change, a compact yet spacious answer to the needs of American families. As you settled into its comfortable interior, you could feel the promise of the road ahead. The 3-speed manual transmission offered a sense of control, while the option for a 3-speed automatic made driving a breeze. But to understand the Hornet, we must first understand the America that created it. This was a time of social upheaval, a period when the country was finding its voice amid the echoes of the past. Families were growing, and so were their aspirations, all while the love for the open road remained a constant. The AMC Hornet wasn't just a car. It was a part of the story, a memory waiting to be made. The adventure was just beginning, and soon we would explore what made this humble compact a true king of the road. As we journey back to the vibrant streets of Detroit in the early 1970s, we find ourselves in a city teeming with ambition, creativity, and a competitive spirit that fueled the American automotive industry. This was a time when the Big Three, Ford, General Motors, and Chrysler, were locked in a fierce battle for supremacy, each company striving to outdo the other with innovative designs and powerful engines that would capture the hearts of consumers across the nation. Amidst this exhilarating atmosphere, a smaller yet equally passionate contender was making waves, the American Motors Corporation, or AMC, a name that would soon resonate with those seeking practicality without compromising style. At the helm of AMC was George W. Mason, a visionary who founded the company in 1954. His dream was to create vehicles that embodied the essence of American life, and he was determined to carve out a niche in a market dominated by the giants. Mason's successors, particularly Roy D. Chapin Jr., who became chairman during the crucial years of the Hornet's development, shared his fervor for crafting cars that catered to the everyday American family. Under Chapin's leadership, AMC embraced a unique approach, focusing on value and efficiency while still appealing to consumers' desires for style and comfort. The design of vehicles during this dynamic period was as much about the artistry of the automobile as it was about engineering prowess. Richard A. Teague, AMC's vice president of design, was a trailblazer in his own right. With an eye for clean lines and functional aesthetics, Teague understood that a car should not only perform well, but also resonate emotionally with its drivers. His designs were characterized by a practicality that reflected the needs of families, embodying the spirit of the era when car ownership was synonymous with freedom and mobility. While the competition was fierce, the atmosphere in Detroit was also one of camaraderie and mutual respect. Engineers and designers from rival companies often exchanged ideas and inspirations, driving each other to push boundaries and innovate. This was the heartbeat of the American automotive industry, an ecosystem where creativity flourished amid rivalry. As the industry surged forward, the mood of the country was shifting. Families were looking for vehicles that could accommodate their growing needs, and the demand for compact cars was rising. This was a time when cruising down the boulevard with the radio blaring was a rite of passage, And the car was not just a means of transportation. It was a symbol of status and freedom. In this melting pot of ideas and aspirations, the seeds of something special were being sown. The visionaries at AMC were not just crafting cars. They were tapping into a cultural zeitgeist that celebrated family, adventure, and the open road. As we continue our exploration, we will soon unveil how these dreams and ambitions coalesced into a vehicle that would become a cherished part of American automotive history, one that perfectly encapsulated the hopes and dreams of a generation. As the 1970s unfolded, America found itself in a whirlwind of change, a vibrant tapestry woven from threads of optimism, creativity, and a yearning for connection. The air was thick with the sounds of the era. Music that transcended generations, from the soulful melodies of Motown to the rock anthems that rallied youth across the nation. It was a time when the radio was the heartbeat of every neighborhood, and cars were the vessels that carried dreams down open highways. For young Americans, the automobile was not merely a mode of transport. It was an extension of their identities, a symbol of freedom and adventure. Amidst this cultural renaissance, the nation was captivated by the awe-inspiring feats of the space race. Just a few years before, the world watched in amazement as astronauts took their first steps on the moon, igniting imaginations and aspirations. The spirit of exploration seeped into everyday life, influencing everything from fashion to technology. Young people were looking for something more than just a car. They wanted a vehicle that embodied the spirit of the times, something that spoke to their desire for independence while still being practical enough to accommodate their growing families. Enter the 1970 AMC Hornet, a car that perfectly captured this essence of the era. With its compact yet spacious design, it was a solution for families seeking both economy and comfort. The Hornet was not just about getting from point A to point B. It was about the experience of the journey itself. Whether it was a Sunday drive to a drive-in theater or a family road trip to the beach, windows down, music blasting, and laughter filling the air. It became a canvas for memories, a place where friendships blossomed and adventures began. As the country transitioned into a new decade, the demand for compact cars surged. Young families were searching for vehicles that were economical at the pump and easy on the wallet, yet still stylish enough to reflect the era's burgeoning sense of individuality. The Hornet stood out in a crowded market, competing against giants like the Ford Maverick and Chevrolet Nova. Yet it carved its own niche, offering practicality without sacrificing the flair that defined the American spirit of the time. Richard Teague's design philosophy infused the Hornet with clean lines and a functional aesthetic, making it not just a car, but a statement. It was a reflection of a society yearning for simplicity and reliability while still dreaming big. In a rapidly changing world, the AMC Hornet emerged as an answer to the cultural demand of an America in transition, embodying the hope and aspirations of a generation ready to embrace the future. As we delve deeper into the heart of the AMC Hornet, we find ourselves under the hood, where the true soul of this car resides. If you were lucky enough to slide behind the wheel of a Hornet, you'd discover that it was not just a means of transportation, it was an experience. Picture the excitement of turning the key in the ignition. There was a satisfying click, followed by the throaty rumble of the inline-six engine. With a displacement of 199 cubic inches, this naturally aspirated powerhouse delivered a solid 128 horsepower, enough to get you on your way while still whispering promises of spirited drives ahead. You see, the engine was the beating heart of the Hornet, resonating with the pride of American ingenuity. The sound was distinctive, a melodic growl that echoed through suburban streets and country roads alike. It was a sound that ignited a sense of adventure, beckoning you to explore the open road. The engine's torque, measured at 190 pound-feet, provided that delightful push you felt in your seat when you pressed the accelerator. A reminder that this car was built for more than just errands. It was designed for life's little escapades. And let's not forget the transmission. The standard 3-speed manual offered a tactile connection that many drivers cherished. The satisfying click of the shifter and the feeling of each gear locking into place were part of what made driving the Hornet so exhilarating. For those who preferred a more laid-back approach, the optional 3-speed automatic provided an easygoing, smooth ride, perfect for navigating through bustling traffic or cruising along the highways. But what truly set the AMC Hornet apart in the burgeoning compact car market was its ability to blend practicality with a hint of spirited performance. Competing against giants like the Ford Maverick and Chevrolet Nova, the Hornet carved out its niche by offering a capable engine without sacrificing the efficiency that families craved. It was a car that didn't just promise fuel economy, it delivered it, allowing drivers to stretch their dollars further during a time when every penny counted. For many, the Hornet was more than just a vehicle. It represented a shift in American car culture. It was a nod to the changing times, offering families a compact yet spacious design that was both functional and stylish. As you drove, you could feel the spirit of the era coursing through the car, from the roar of the engine to the gentle hum of the road beneath you. It was a vehicle that connected people, whether it was the thrill of a Sunday drive or the everyday hustle of school runs and grocery trips. In many ways, the AMC Hornet embodied the American dream of the 1970s. A car that was within reach for the average family, yet spoke to the desire for freedom and adventure. It was a blend of raw power and refined practicality, a true testament to the ingenuity of its creators who understood that every journey begins with the turn of a key. As we slide into the heart of the story, let's take a moment to truly appreciate the aesthetic of the 1970 AMC Hornet. Designed under the watchful eye of Richard A. Teague, the vice president of design at American Motors Corporation, the Hornet was more than just a car. It was a statement. Its clean lines and compact yet spacious form reflected the era's blend of practicality and style, a nod to the growing need for family-oriented vehicles without compromising on personality. If you were lucky enough to sit behind the wheel, you would immediately feel the essence of thoughtful design, how every element seemed to wrap around you, creating a cocoon of comfort and control. Picture yourself slipping into the driver's seat, the fabric of the upholstery warm against your back. The steering wheel, with its gentle grip, felt like an extension of your own arms, guiding you effortlessly down the open road. The dashboard, designed with an eye for simplicity and functionality, offered a clear view of the instruments, making it easy to stay in tune with the heartbeat of the vehicle. As you adjusted the rearview mirror, the long, sleek hood stretched out before you, filling you with a sense of pride and a sprinkle of adventure. It was a promise of the journeys that lay ahead, whether it was a Friday night cruise to the drive-in theater or a weekend road trip with the family. The Hornet's unibody construction contributed not only to its sleek silhouette, but also to a feeling of solidity and confidence on the road. With its independent front suspension and sturdy live axle rear, it was designed to hug the curves and navigate the twists and turns of your favorite back roads. You could practically feel the road beneath you, a symphony of sensations that connected you to the asphalt, creating a bond between man and machine that was palpable. And let's not forget the versatility that came with the Hornet. Whether you chose the sedan, the wagon, or the hatchback, each variant offered a touch of individuality, allowing families to express their unique lifestyles. It was a car that understood the American spirit of freedom to roam, to explore, and to create memories. As you turned the key in the ignition and felt that gentle thrum of the inline-six engine come to life, it was as if you were igniting a spark of adventure, ready to carve your own path through the landscape, 1 mile at a time. The AMC Hornet was not just a vehicle. It was a canvas of experiences, emotions, and aspirations, capturing the essence of what it meant to be an American driver in the 1970s. Each journey in the Hornet was a celebration of the open road, an invitation to embrace the journey ahead and the stories waiting to unfold. As the sun set on the golden age of American automobiles, the streets were alive with the sounds of engines revving and tires screeching. The year was 1970. And the American Motors Corporation had just unveiled its latest marvel, the AMC Hornet. It rolled off the assembly line like a breath of fresh air, ready to carve out its own niche in an increasingly competitive landscape dominated by the giants of Detroit. With a base price of just under $2,000, it promised affordability without sacrificing the style and comfort that families craved. If you were among the eager buyers back then, you might remember the excitement of taking that first drive. With its compact yet spacious design, the Hornet was a car that felt tailor-made for the American family, whether it was the daily commute to work or a weekend getaway to the lake. It was an unassuming yet stylish presence on the road, boasting clean lines and a practical design that made it a favorite among economy-minded consumers. But make no mistake, the Hornet was not without its challengers. It entered the fray against the likes of the Ford Maverick, Chevrolet Nova, and Plymouth Valiant, all vying for the hearts and wallets of the American public. Each of these cars had its own distinct personality, but the Hornet held its ground with confidence. While the Ford Maverick may have boasted a slightly more powerful engine, it was the Hornet's nimble handling and smooth ride that often drew drivers back for more. Picture a typical Saturday night in the early 70s, with young couples cruising down the boulevard, the radio blaring the latest hits from the likes of Fleetwood Mac and the Eagles. At the stoplight, a sleek Chevrolet Nova pulled up alongside an AMC Hornet. The drivers exchanged glances, adrenaline pumping in the warm summer air. The light turned green, and off they went. The Hornet, equipped with its reliable inline-six engine, may not have been the fastest in a straight line, but it was the kind of car that could take a sharp turn with grace, leaving competitors in its dust when the road got twisty. And let's not forget about its role in American pop culture. In 1974, the Hornet made a splash on the silver screen, performing a daring barrel roll in The Man with the Golden Gun. It was a moment that cemented its place in automotive lore, transforming the Hornet from a family sedan into a cultural icon. The Hornet had a spirit of its own, resonating with those who wanted more than just a means of transportation. It was a symbol of freedom, a reminder of the open road and the adventures waiting just beyond the horizon. For many, it was more than a car. It was the vehicle that carried their stories, their laughter, and their dreams. In the grand tapestry of American automotive history, the AMC Hornet stood tall, a testament to the ingenuity and resilience that defined an era. As we continue our journey through the annals of American automotive history, we find ourselves drawn to the cultural tapestry woven around the AMC Hornet, a car that transcended its metal and rubber composition to become a true icon of its era. If you were around during the early 70s, you likely remember the feeling of excitement that accompanied the release of new films and television shows, where the Hornet often made its entrance, turning heads and capturing hearts. It wasn't just a vehicle. It was a character in its own right, a faithful companion to heroes and heroines alike. One of the most unforgettable moments for the Hornet came in 1974, when it starred in the James Bond film The Man with the Golden Gun. Picture this: Roger Moore, suave and debonair, behind the wheel of a Hornet, performing a breathtaking barrel roll that left audiences gasping. That scene didn't just showcase the Hornet's agility, it cemented its status as a symbol of adventure and daring, a car that could handle the thrills of espionage as well as the everyday commutes of American families. Suddenly, the Hornet was not just a compact car, it was a vehicle of choice for those who craved excitement and a taste of the extraordinary. But the Hornet's influence didn't stop on the silver screen. It cruised into living rooms across the country too, gracing popular television shows like The Brady Bunch, where it was often seen parked in the driveway, embodying the quintessential American family car. It was the kind of car that made you feel proud to be an American, a reliable companion on family road trips, with the kids piled in the back and the smell of freshly packed sandwiches wafting through the air. The Hornet represented not just transportation, but a lifestyle filled with adventure, laughter, and memories, moments that many of us still cherish today. In addition to its roles in film and television, the Hornet also found a home in the hearts of car enthusiasts. With approximately 672,000 units produced, it became a common sight on American roads, each one carrying its own unique stories. It was a car that families grew up with, a vehicle that witnessed the milestones of life, graduations, first dates, and countless family vacations. In a way, it was a bridge between generations, connecting the dreams of the past with the aspirations of the future. The AMC Hornet's legacy endures, celebrated at classic car shows and in the hearts of those who remember the roar of its engine and the thrill of the open road. Today, as we reflect on the Hornet's role in pop culture, we recognize that it was more than just a car. It was a piece of Americana, a witness to the dreams and adventures of countless families, and a beloved icon that continues to remind us of the freedom and joy that driving can bring. As we reflect on the legacy of the 1970 AMC Hornet, we find ourselves in a unique position, standing at the crossroads of nostalgia and appreciation. This spirited compact car with its clean lines and practical design was not just a vehicle. It was a vital part of American life during a transformative era. Today, as classic car enthusiasts gather at shows and events, the Hornet continues to command attention, drawing admiration from those who remember the thrill of cruising down sun-drenched highways, the wind in their hair, and the radio blaring the hits of the day. Collectors have recognized the Hornet's value, not just for its rarity or its role in automotive history, but for the stories it carries. With around 672,000 units produced, each Hornet has a tale to tell. Family road trips, Saturday night drives to the local drive-in theater, or that unforgettable moment when a friend performed a daring stunt, just like in the movies. These memories are treasures, cherished by those who experienced them firsthand, and by new generations who admire the car's quirky charm and the spirit of ingenuity that characterized American Motors Corporation. The AMC Hornet stands as a symbol of the era's values: affordability, practicality, and a dash of style. It was a car designed for families, for young couples, for those forging their own paths in a world bursting with possibility. In an age of increasing complexity, the Hornet represented simplicity and accessibility, reflecting a time when the open road was a canvas for dreams and adventures. As we conclude our journey through the story of the AMC Hornet, we are reminded that it embodies more than just the spirit of an era. It encapsulates the essence of freedom, the joy of exploration, and the bonds formed through shared experiences. For those who remember this car, it evokes a sense of pride, reminding us of the values that defined our generation: the love of family, the thrill of adventure, and the belief that the road ahead is always filled with possibilities. In the end, the AMC Hornet is not just a classic car. It's a cherished piece of our collective memory, a reminder that the best journeys are the ones we take together. Thank you for taking this trip down memory lane with us. If you enjoyed it, a subscription and a thumbs up would mean the world. We're trying to build a community here for folks who appreciate the classics, so I'd be honored if you'd share a memory of the 1970 AMC Hornet in the comments below. Let me know where you're watching from and what this car means to you. Your stories are the real history. Until next time, take care.